Alright guys, I'm going to show you how to make some simple notches in a luxury vinyl floor plank. We're using Pergo with their premium LVT underlayment. I've already got the underlayment down. I'm going to show you how to make this notch around this doorway opening because we got to continue this piece on through. And yeah, so I'll get right into it. Set the vlog down, piece out here. So first thing I'm going to do, no tape measure really required here. Just going to line it up. And you know, one cool thing about the underlayment is it's got this nice grit on it, so it gives you a little bit of a reference for being straight, and that's really helpful, I find. So I'm just going to make a little notch, you know, taking into consideration that I don't want to be super tight. I see a lot of homeowners doing this and they make the mistake of making it super tight to the wall, and this stuff needs to move. It's going to move throughout the year as it gets hot and cold. The recommendation from the manufacturer is 3/8, so I just gave myself a little bit there, a little bit here. Now I got to find out my depth. So I measured tight from this edge to here. I got 6 inches. So if I subtract 3/8, that gives me 5 5/8. That's fine. We're gonna have a door jamb here, so we could even go 5 1/2, just in case, you know, just so we're not doing things twice here. So we'll go to our piece and make sure we have 5 1/2, and just take that mark and bring it all the way down, connecting our dots, and take our mark here and here and just connect the lines. And there you go. So now we have our mark right here. Put an X on it if you will. If you're giving it to your wife to cut, that way she knows she doesn't cut all this out and hand you this piece. Just kidding, she wouldn't do that. So what I have here is my circular saw, and you could use all kinds of tools to cut this stuff. This is just what I'm using right now. So you can't cut this stuff with a utility knife, but being a contractor, I will sort of take cordless power tools, and I can just show you real quick how easy this is to snap. Every knife, a nice sharp knife, and you just apply some decent pressure into the top of the LVP. Should be good, and I'm gonna just flip her around to see how she fits. The problem with using power tools, especially in your immediate area, is all these little crumbs. You don't want them getting stuck in these little channels. It can be really problematic for, you know, getting a tight fit, and can lead to a lot of problems. So I got my vacuum over here, as you can see, so not an issue. If it gets bad, I can vacuum out the creases or the tracks. And with this stuff, you kind of just get it close. They say in the instructions you kind of at an angle and you pull towards it. If you can't get it in, there is this 12-ounce Husky hammer that I bought for this tool. It was like 12 or 15 bucks. Well worth it, and the block. There you go. Plenty of room. You'll have a jamb come down here. You won't even see any of this once you get trim on. So yeah, and move on to this next piece here. I'll have a little notch. I'll show you guys that also. Real simple, and doesn't hurt to grab your vacuum, clean out this area. piece here. So it looks like this piece, according to our grid, we're gonna run into right there. So shouldn't be too difficult, kind of a freebie in a sense, because we just have to cut a little L out of the piece. So our total length, we bumped straight to the drywall, which is what I always do. And I got 25 3/4. So if I just take and subtract 1/2 inch is usually what I've been doing, or in this case 3/8, you can go 25 1/4. Maybe a little heavy on it. Whatever you want to do. Like I said, you got trim and doors going in, so it's going to be hidden. And that's all you really want to make sure to do. You got plenty of wiggle room. So if I do 25 1/4, I can kind of see on the other end how far away I'm going to be. I could even go 25 3/8, and that would be fine. So I'm going to snap a piece at 25 3/8. And for this one, maybe I'll cut this one by hand, just so I can show you guys how simple it is. So I need the overlapping side here, so make sure you're measuring from the right side, because you can really start to screw up some pieces here if you're not careful. So I'm just going to make a little mark with my knife there at 25 1/4, 25 1/4, and if you like, what you can do is take your tape measure, connect the dots, trusty mechanical pencil, make a line, have a line. And being careful not to score onto the flooring, always cut away from yourself, just make myself a line. Just keep making it deeper and deeper. Let's see, those are 3 pretty insignificant swipes of the knife. Flip it over. There you have it. Breaks pretty clean. This Pergo is probably one of the nicer floors that I've ever installed. A lot of other stuff, like when you're smacking on it, like I was doing just there a second ago, it'll crack and do all kinds of stuff. So now we're on to notching around this doorway. So again, just give yourself some space. You got a mark there, you know where we're at. Same thing here. We know where we want to line up. So bring it over, make a mark, and boom. So we know we want to come out here. Then once you got those 2 reference marks, what you can do is just take your tape measure, and it says I'm at 2 1/4, so I'll come down here, mark 2 1/4, and the same with this. This is the pretty small cut. I could eyeball it for the sake of showing you. I'm gonna go 4 5/8, and then make a mark at 4 5/8. And neat trick, if you didn't know, I like to use my tape measure to make a straight line. It's really helpful too if you're making long marks. Mark there. Make a mark here. Make an X. And you know, if you got a tool, like I have an oscillating tool here, I have a table saw, I have multiple tools. There's gonna be a couple different cuts in this area, so I'm just using my table saw to be expedient, but this stuff makes. All over my glasses, all over me. Again, you know, usually you want a designated cutting area. Just for the sake of showing you everything right here, right now, I'm doing this, and I got my vacuum, so it's not a huge deal. Here's the shaving. Especially in this groove. See how she fits. So they want you to bring this piece in first, get it as close as you can, lay it down. And then what you do is you kind of start from this side. That one went in with very little effort. Again, you could, a lot of times I like to check right here to see if they're lined up good. If they're not, what I do, I just stagger my seam, just give it a nice tap. See, you got no gaps. And yeah, you're ready to start into the next room. When you're connecting multiple rooms like this, it can be a little overwhelming. I know the first time I did that, believe me, I was on YouTube looking, and you know, it can be a daunting task. So, you know, but comes easy once you do it a few times. So have the right tools and take your time, and even you could do this job at your home instead of paying somebody like me thousands of dollars to come and do your flooring for you when you're already spending thousands of dollars on the material itself. It can really be a money saver. This is Decker signing out.